Even the White House says it does not know the current whereabouts of the man who led last week's short-lived rebellion in Russia. And Ukraine's military intelligence chief says that Russia's FSB, the successor agency to the KGB, is plotting to kill Yevgeny Prigozhin. Quoting him now from an interview, quote, "We are aware that the FSB was charged with the task to assassinate him. Will they be successful in doing that? We'll see with time." I'm joined now by CNN national security analyst Steve Hall, a former CIA chief of Russia operations. Steve, how likely is it that the FSB knows exactly where Prigozhin is? And if they wanted to kill him, how hard would it be for them to do it?
Yeah, I would say that that this analytical statement by the Ukrainian military intelligence is not a huge stretch. It's not a particularly bad analytical position. If I were a betting man, I think Prigozhin's in some significant trouble. Threats from the FSB to begin with. The FSB is extremely good. They'll be able to find him. They know how to kill people. We've seen that many times before. For me, the big question is why now? If they were going to kill him, the time to have done it would have been before he caused all of the difficulties that he has caused. And of course, the FSB are the ones who are responsible. It's the organization that is responsible for informing the president, in this case Putin, and those close to him, that something is amiss. And either they did that and he ignored it, unlikely, or they failed to see it. And yeah, it's kind of obvious now that they would want to get rid of him. But why not 2, 3 weeks ago? They would have saved themselves a lot of trouble had they done it then.
What's keeping Prigozhin alive? If he is still alive, we haven't seen the guy.
Yeah, this is another thing is that we just don't know, what's going. There's so little information right now, and of course, this is what one of the things the Russians are really good at is putting question marks above these guys. So Prigozhin, the rumor is, well, yeah, everybody's saying that he's, happy and healthy, maybe not so happy, but he's in Belarus someplace, thanks to the intervention of President Lukashenko. We haven't seen Surovikin either, another guy who there's a lot of question marks over. In a sense, though, this plays into what I think the Kremlin is trying to do, which is, if they do the expected, if they go ahead and kill these guys, then everybody's like, okay, well, that's predictable. And now that's over and we're past that. By keeping some questions out there, I think it keeps people that Putin is still unsure about on edge. And perhaps they will make a mistake, which will then put them on the list to be gotten rid of as well. So there's some housekeeping that needs to be done.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about keeping his internal house in order. Who are the people that Putin is most concerned about now?
It's hard to say because of the nature of how difficult it is to predict what's going on inside the Kremlin. I think we all probably remember the days when we were looking at how many guys were on top of Lenin's tomb when people were marching by, and that gave us an idea as to what was going on. It's still very, very hard to know what's going on inside the Kremlin. But obviously, the people who have the most power and who are closest to Putin are the ones who, ironically, are not only the ones who would be called upon to take care of problems, but also the ones who pose the greatest danger. So the head of the FSB, the head of the other security services, even the senior military guys, I think, are at risk. And yeah, he's got to do something, whether Putin does, whether or not it's a Stalin-like purge of everybody, or whether it's something more modulated than that, we'll just have to see.
It is fascinating how history sometimes seems to repeat itself. Steve Hall, great to have you here. I suspect we'll be talking soon about some of this.
I bet so.